There are two kinds of people in the world, my friend. Those with a rope around their neck and the people who have the job of doing the cutting. Listen, the neck at the end of the rope is mine. I run the risks.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Two can dig a lot quicker than one.
Huge thank you to our sponsor for the good, the bad, and the ugly, Chapman Automotive Group. I bet you didn't know, but Chapman, they offer one of the largest selections of new and used cars for sale online in Arizona. They have 9 locations, 646 new vehicles, and 828 used vehicles. Check out all of their information at ChapmanTucson.com. Chapman, making a difference one customer at a time. All right, let's get to the good, the bad, and the ugly from this past weekend, and we're going to keep this focused all on Arizona football following its loss to Iowa State. So this is more of a Arizona football good, bad, and the ugly. And my good is Treydon Stukes. It was good to see Treydon Stukes come down with an interception in really like the first game back. I know he's been back in some fashion now for the last couple of games, but he was really on a pitch count. Like, he was on a pitch count against Kansas State, so we only saw him play like 24 snaps or so. But this was the first time where we really saw Treydon Stukes play for an entire game. And I thought Treydon Stukes made a couple of nice tackles in open field. He's a really good open space tackler, one of the best with Arizona. And then the interception in the second half against Iowa State, I know that the interception wasn't really a game-changing interception or a play that would give Arizona some momentum and a chance to get back in the game. But to see a guy that's been going through so much over the last year, overcoming an injury, going through the rehab process, being on the sideline, and also being a coach too. Treydon Stukes really turned into a player coach during his rehab. And to finally see him back on the field 100%, playing, being healthy, and then to come down with that pick in the second half, I thought was really awesome to see. And, Treydon, that was his first pick since the season opener against New Mexico a year ago. He's one of Arizona's top defensive players, and he's going to have a big final season this year for Arizona. And, there weren't too many bright spots in that game, but Treydon Stukes definitely was the one that I wanted to highlight for the good, the bad, and the ugly. The bad. Let's get to the bad. Let's go to, a part of me wants to, rip Noah Fifita. Or I wouldn't say rip Noah Fifita, because I think he's a great quarterback. And in my opinion, I think Noah Fifita is one of the top quarterbacks in the Big 12. Unfortunately, because of his height and also because of the season that he had last year, tying the Big 12 for the most interceptions, he's flying under the radar. And then, of course, going up against Iowa State on national TV against another really good quarterback in Rocco Becht, Noah Fifita looked off. Like, the timing was just bad with some of those passes. One of those interceptions, I think it was the first one, where Jontez Williams kind of came off in cover 2 and backed up a little bit. That was just a really good defensive play. I could see what Noah was thinking. It was good offense, but better defense by Iowa State. But speaking of defense, the defense, they get my bad for this week because they just gave up too many big passing plays. Iowa State had this formula, and I'm not going to sit here and say, like, this is what they wanted to do, but it was... If you're an Arizona fan, you have to feel pretty frustrated because it just felt like Iowa State, every time they got the ball, it was big passing play, big passing play, big passing play, get inside the 5-yard line, Rocco Becht, Carson Hansen with 12, 13 personnel. You've got multiple tight ends, and let me tell you, their tight ends are big as sugar honey iced tea. Those guys are corn-fed. They are Big 12 tight ends. Like, Danny Gonzalez, the Arizona defensive coordinator, said going into this week that Iowa State is built like a Big 10 team. They are built like Penn State. They are built like Ohio State, and I could see that. Those guys are enormous, and even their offensive tackles, too. Big old Tyler Miller at right tackle. That son of a gun is 6'9", 350 pounds.
And all they did, I can't remember if it was the second or third touchdown, all they did was run it up the guts. Like 3 consecutive times.
Yeah.
Those guys are huge.
And then it wasn't even like tush push. You didn't see anybody behind Rocco Becht, and it's like, no, we don't need to push Rocco Becht because we already got all the pushing up front.
Yeah.
And the tight ends, the offensive line, it's almost impossible to stop these guys every time they get inside the 5-yard line because they can just run the play, run it up the gut, like you said, Andrew, and it's 3-4 yards every single time. And, Iowa State, they didn't have any big runs. Like, if you think back on this game, all of their big plays, it was big passes to Chase Sowell, their star wide receiver, who had 4 catches for 146 yards. He had no touchdowns in this game, but had 146 receiving yards. And their tight ends, too, Gabe Burkle, who had the 2-point conversion where he took the direct snap and kind of powered his way in. And then Benjamin Bramer, he was the guy on that trick play where they gave it to the tight end, and then he launched it over the middle, puts Iowa State inside the 10-yard line or whatever, and then that's what they do best. They go 12 personnel, stack up the box, and they just power their way in the end zone. And Rocco Becht had negative 10 rushing yards but had 3 rushing touchdowns, which is a career high for him.
That's insane.
Because he would get sacked, but every time they would get to the 2-yard line, all right, Rocco, there you go. Get inside the end zone, and they did. Carson Hansen had like 19 carries for 63 yards and then had 2 touchdowns. So, average yards per run for Iowa State in this game, like looking at average yard per rush, they averaged 2.4 yards in this game. Iowa State, they had 47 carries for 111 yards and averaged 2.4 yards per carry. So they didn't do anything flashy when it came to running, but passing wise, they would get it done, man. And Rocco Becht, I was thoroughly impressed with him. I think he is a dude that's going to be playing on Sundays. Like, if Brock Purdy can get that kind of contract with the San Francisco 49ers, I think Rocco Becht can also be a guy like that too. He's got a lot of moxie, doesn't really make a ton of mistakes. Of course, he threw that one pick against Traydon Stukes, but I thought he played a very clean game for the most part, and he kept Iowa State ahead of the sticks. And if you look at third down, if you want to combine third and fourth down, Iowa State was 8 for 15. And, how does that compare to the Kansas State game? Well, Kansas State, they were 3 for 17 on third and fourth down against Arizona. Going from 3 for 17 to 8 for 15, that definitely had a big part in this game, and Arizona's defense couldn't keep Iowa State's offense off the field. And that leads me to the ugly. So, the defense, kind of took a step back, but still a really good team. But really the ugly, and a big reason why I think Arizona fell so far behind has to be special teams. And they set the tone poorly with Ismail Mahdi fumbling the football. But thankfully his elbow was down, and they did the official review, which I think there was like 1 million official reviews in that game. Yeah. There were way too many official reviews. And they reviewed it, and his elbow was down. Okay. Arizona has life early on. How are they going to answer to this? How are they going to answer this? They almost gave the ball right to Iowa State, put them in scoring position. They were given a blessing. How are you going to handle it, Arizona? Well, they go down the field. Nice little 10-play drive. And then Ismail Mahdi kind of redeemed himself, had a 23-yard run in that drive as well. And then Arizona misses a 46-yard field goal. And Michael Sagada-Medina is now 2 for 6 when it comes to kicking field goals longer than 40 yards. But I also don't really put too much of the blame on this young man because snapping has been poor as well. The whole operation has been bad. And so I don't know if they need to make a change, if they need to. I don't know what they need to do.
Get
but,
you out there.
Hey, I'm open. I'm here. I think I might have some eligibility. Hey, if there's a 58-year-old or whatever playing at that Lycomings College in Pennsylvania, that D3 school, I think I could, snap.
Yeah, that totally is the same thing.
It's absolutely the same thing. But, yeah, the snapping, the field goal, that whole thing needs to be fixed because that's a red flag right now for Arizona. And then other special team blunders, if you want to call it that. Dalton Johnson on that late hit, you could say that he was kind of pushed in the back, but still he was flagged for catch interference, and that put Iowa State on the plus side of the field. And then you have the 2-point conversion that Iowa State converted after the very first touchdown.
That was just disrespectful.
You could say it was disrespectful, but you know what? I look at it as, this was a coaching staff that dug deep into the film. They looked at stuff from last year. Mm-hmm. Not just this year. They looked at stuff last year for potential weaknesses because you know what? Texas Tech did the swinging gate against Arizona, and it worked. West Virginia did a fake field goal last year, and it worked. And kudos to Iowa State for coming up with a great coaching plan. And, I like Brent Brennan a lot. I like Danny Gonzalez. I like Seth Dagey. But I got to be honest with you, I think Matt Campbell and that crew outcoached them. I really do. Mm-hmm. I think they were outcoached and out-physicaled. I know that's not a word, but Iowa State was just tough. And then the field position, like I said, it was really, really hard for Arizona because the average field position for Iowa State to start was at the 38-yard line. In Arizona, it was 20. And so Iowa State's starting, kind of near midfield to start every drive. And then they had 3 touchdown drives that started on the plus side of the field that took fewer than 50 yards to score. So field position, like Brent Brennan said, it was massive in this game. And so special teams, in my opinion, that was really what contributed to Arizona falling so far behind. And they got down, 22-7 at halftime. And then Iowa State scores back-to-back touchdowns to start, and that's really what kind of knocked out Arizona when it was all said and done. But special teams, woof. That was a work in progress going into the bye week, and it is still an absolute work in progress. But, I know Arizona has been, kicked around on the road in the last couple of years of the Brent Brennan era. And by the way, they're now 1-5 on the road against Brent Brennan, with that one win being against Utah. But I don't know. The vibe that I got from this game against Iowa State was I think this Arizona team is going to be all right. I really do. I didn't get the same vibe that I got from UCF last year. I didn't get the same vibe that I got from the TCU game or anything like that. I just think Arizona, on the road, ran into a damn good Iowa State team and a team that was in the Big 12 championship last year, and they're one of a few undefeated teams from the Big 12 this year. They're the highest-rated Big 12 team right now, highest-ranked Big 12 team. This is a really good ball club, and Brent Brennan called it a harsh measuring stick, and I think Arizona, they were humbled, right? They were riding high from their 3-game start to the season, their best start in a decade. But, you go up against a tough Iowa State team, and the Cyclones, they did everything right. And Arizona paid the price on Saturday. But I still think that this is a really good team. And you know what? They got Oklahoma State coming to town. Oklahoma State stinks. They have to win this game. If Arizona does not beat Oklahoma State, then we'll come on the show next Monday and talk about some problems. But I think they're going to get right against Oklahoma State. And, that will put them at 4 wins. 4 wins. Now you got 2 opportunities the rest of the way to get to a bowl game. I like these teams' chances. I like this team's chance a lot.
May I throw in some non-Arizona football good, bad, and uglies very quickly?
Sure.
So the good, I have 2 actually. So I'm pulling an old Justin Spears here.
Love it.
Feeling bloated already. We've got the Mercury headed to the WNBA Finals.
First time since 2021.
Unexpectedly, I would say at the very least.
Yeah.
Mercury headed to the final to play either the Aces or the Fever, depending on who wins that series. I think that's decided either tonight or tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Also the good, Marc-Andre Fleury living out that 1-day contract with the Pittsburgh Penguins and retiring a Penguin over the weekend. So
I thought that was cool.
And he did it with a win. Just waddled out there at, I think he's 40 or 41, and just was like, hey, to the guys who are actually on the Penguins, going, hey, you better nut up because I'm coming for your job. The bad for me is the Diamondbacks, because
Boo.
you know how the old adage goes: you win some, and you get outscored 32-9 in crunch time in 4 very important games. So that's that. And then my ugly is just Jerry Jones' face. Just his face.
He was so happy. He was so happy for a tie. I've never seen anybody more happy or happier than a
The
tie.
trade worked.
He's like, they got Michael. We don't. And, well, we tied. So it looks like the trade, everybody won in this trade. I'm like, no, you did not win.
That's not how
Jerry
trades
Jones.
work.
You
It's not
did
how-
not win. All right, that is it for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, brought to you by Chapman Automotive Group. Visit ChapmanTucson.com. Chapman Automotive Group, they offer one of the largest selections of new and used cars in Arizona. Like I said earlier, 646 new vehicles, 828 used vehicles. They have 9 locations and seven different brands: Acura, Audi, Honda, Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, Volkswagen, Sprinter. Those are the brands. Visit ChapmanTucson.com.